Welcome back. You're still watching the news review right here on Power Breakfast on Citizen TV with me, Fred Indimuli. Now let's move to other stories that are making headlines. Services at the Kenyatta National Hospital were yesterday paralyzed after a section of health workers staged a demonstration in defense of their colleagues accused of sexually assaulting women at the facility. The workers paraded morgue attendants who were alleged to have molested mothers and dared anyone with evidence to name them. This as Health CS Cleopa Mailu plans to make public a probe report on the allegations today. Laura Otieno with the details.
Morning scenes from Kenyatta National Hospital. Workers from all departments marched through the corridors of the hospital in solidarity with their colleagues from the morgue section. And today, a new twist. Workers paraded the morticians and beckoned whoever had evidence that they had sexually molested mothers at the facility to come forth.
Mtu ambaye anatuharibia jina ya kwamba we are rapists. Huyo mtu anastahili atolewe, na sababu inasemekana ni watu wa moja tumekuja nao hapa. Wambo uko wapi? Wako wengi kadha wakadha, hapo ni mmoja wao. Wakuja waseme ni huyu ama ni huyu.
Then word came round.
Sikia wenzetu wa mama kama mimi wako Freedom Corner tu wanakuja. Karibuni. Come baby.
And indeed, the crowd unraveled protest. And for about 30 minutes, an intense...
We do apologize for that technical hitch, but that's one of the biggest discussions this week, what has been happening at the Kenyatta National Hospital. Joining me for this discussion this morning, Pius M. Cheboi, the chairman of the Kenyatta National Hospital Union. Of course, the union is represented, you're all represented under the Kenya Union of Domestic Hotels, Education Institutions, Hospitals and Allied Workers, known as KUDEHA.
Correct.
KUDEHA. Yes. So yes, Bwana Pius Cheboi is also a member of KUDEHA, representing Kenyatta National Hospital. Next to Bwana Pius, we have Chris Musanga Wambua, a mortician. That means you're one of the morgue attendants. Yeah. Arraigned yesterday, not arraigned, but paraded yesterday. And then Jared Okuro Konam is the KUDEHA branch chairman, Nairobi. Yes. Good morning, gentlemen. Karibuni sana.
Good morning. Yes.
Yesterday, for the first time, we saw members of staff from Kenyatta National Hospital actually come out to defend your colleagues, to fend off the criticism that was being leveled your way. We saw quite a number of protesters come, but at the gate you were there ready to defend Kenyatta National Hospital. These are very serious allegations made against your colleagues, members of staff of Kenyatta National Hospital, the biggest referral hospital we have in this region. Don't you think that probably some of the protests are justified, that any such criticism coming your way should be taken seriously instead of defending your colleagues? Let's start with you, Bwana Cheboi.
Thank you, Fred. I think basically we want to inform Kenyans that the issue, we were not defending ourselves. Basically, we are saying at least we gave Kenyans at least a length of time when this issue came up, so that the Directorate of Criminal Investigation, as directed by our CS, Mr. Mailu, to take its course, which they did, of course. But when we, a few days later, we realized that this thing has taken a political direction. Then we said, no, we cannot sit back as an institution and wait. For example, people who are coming, they call themselves as a boat group, to come and invade our hospital. At least we can tell people that the law is very clear. If you want to present a petition, that is allowed in the law. But the way you are going to present your petition must be justified.
When you say it is taking a political angle, what exactly do you mean?
We mean that this, at least we can be able to tell you from the background that we have also done our investigations as members of staff, and more so the union members, and we have realized, and we can, this one we can confirm to the members of the public that none of any of our staff has been identified by any of the so-called persons who have made these allegations.
Yes, and that's a fact that no one has come out clearly to accuse any person and name them and say this person is the one who committed the offense. But Bwana Chris Musanga, coming to you, yes, it is you and your colleagues directly, the morticians, the morgue attendants that have been accused, saying you are the people attacking the women and sexually assaulting them. Yes, probably no victim has come out and said it is this person, but it doesn't necessarily mean that the allegations are not true, does it?
Well, Bwana Fred, what I can say, it's good now you are saying it's an allegation so far, because nobody has come out to write a statement with the security organs. But we have been crucified before our side of the sword has been heard.
Yes.
That's why we say enough is enough. We have to come out strongly and tell the world we are fed up. Let the security organs do their investigations. Let the victims come out, write statements.
So you're not necessarily opposed to any investigation?
No, we are not. We are not. But we need a fair trial, a fair accusation, whereby we give the investigating authorities time to present their reports.
Okay. Now, Chris, probably for the sake of our viewers, can you describe to us the nature of your work? Because they say these allegations, that these acts, if true, that they happen at night, that is when women go to breastfeed or check on their babies from one floor to another, and that's probably when you're also working, trying to move bodies from the hospital to the morgue. Describe that. Do you really interact with these women? Do you even meet them in the along the corridors of the hospital when you're performing your duties?
Well, it's a nice question. One, our hospital setup is very unique. There's no time we come into contact with the patient. We use lifts. We have service lifts specific for that purpose. Service lifts, which are not used by any patient. The alleged floor where the victims are alleged to have been raped is first floor. In first floor we don't use lifts, we use ramp. There's a ramp.
Yes.
And that floor is very busy. 24 hours. 24 hours is busy. We have security. We have CCTV surveillance. I think the server, let me call it the server. The server has been opened. We have not seen anything. We work in pairs. Our staffs work in pairs.
So you do not perform your duties alone. You cannot be walking around.
No, you can't. You can't. I can't lift you alone. I have to be with my colleague. Yeah.
Okay. Jared Okuro, branch chairman Kudeha. Yesterday you led this defense of Kenyatta Hospital. Incidentally, you work for Kenyatta Hospital as well.
Correct.
So you double up in both roles. Do you think that the show yesterday was warranted? Kenyatta National Hospital staff coming to confront protesters?
It was very much warranted because we were protecting our image. This is a national referral hospital. I think the third biggest in Africa. And we have given enough time for whoever was raped to come out and write a statement or with the police so that any action should be taken. And from the over 1 week, nobody has come out, and this thing took political dimension. Even some people met somewhere to organize activists to march to Kenyatta National Hospital yesterday for the second time.
What do you think the intention is?
I don't want to preempt I don't want
but
to...
you
I
seem
don't
to
to
suggesting that there's some intention that you're not talking about.
Yeah.
What do you think people who... because now you're saying that there are people behind these allegations, and probably the intention is different from actually seeking justice for the victims.
These are not people who are even seeking justice. I have protected... I've been the chairman of this hospital from 2007, I think. And it was me who brought the Kudea Workers Union in this hospital in 1992. And I'm still up to today. And the allegations being leveled against the mortuary attendants is not true. One, when we have a corpse dies, even in theater, I work in theater, the nurses wrap the body, and we call them. And the room 108, which runs the hospital, is informed, and everybody around. So when they come when they already, everybody are aware that they are coming. And these women who are breastfeeding their children at the
nursery.
The nursery, they come either twice or thrice, and they must come in groups so that they give nurses time also to do their part. So whoever was raped, that's why we gave these people time to come, write a statement.
But you seem to be suggesting, Bwana Jared Okuro, that the allegations are not true. That needs to be as a result of some level of investigation. Are you saying that as a union you're able to investigate and conclusively declare that these allegations are false?
Correct. It is very false.
As a union, you have the capacity to investigate?
Yeah, we have our investigative machinery as a union, and that is why when we called these people and paraded them, and we have given enough time for the Kenyan workers to come, instead of tarnishing the good name of the hospital, come and say it is Wambua, it is Konam, it is Pius, so that action should be taken against such a person.
But the very nature of sexual assault cases is that the victims are usually traumatized and they don't want that kind of publicity. That they would not, even elsewhere, they rarely report. To come out blanketly and say that these allegations are false, don't you think that's a bit presumptive on the part of the union? Because initially you had said, yes, we'll allow investigations to continue, but according to Bwana Konam, he says, no, these allegations are false.
Fred, let me tell the entire world that rape is not a one-stop event. Rape is a process. Even to make the matter worse, the allegations from the victims or one victim who must have been said behind the scenes is a victim who had been born through a cesarean. And I can be very, it is so disturbing as a medic to realize that after a patient has gone through a cesarean and she's raped, I can assure you that even that the same patient cannot even leave that scene whatsoever.
But gentlemen, you realize...
Because let me tell you, Fred, that this patient is having some stitches, and if there is any kind of an act which has been done forcefully,
so now
those stitches must be.
You're now in agreement with Bwana Konam, and you seem now to be denying that denying the allegations, because initially you said, if at all, they are allegations. None has been proven. There are allegations, and you said we are open to investigations. But now you seem to have changed the script, and now you're saying they are false, that we've investigated and we found that this did not actually happen. Is that what you're saying?
We aren't telling you that we are denying, or we are saying if there's any Kenyan woman who was admitted in Kenech, whom we treated and labored in our institution, she must come out very clearly. And then we are saying this. We are just giving you a scenario, because our job, the way we operate, is very unique. We are telling you, if a woman who has undergone a cesarean situation is raped, we can assure you that that woman may not leave that scene.
It is not a good scene either way. But now, the actions you took yesterday by coming out publicly and fending off criticism, fending off protesters who had come to KNH, don't you think that that would be perceived as you, as a union, condoning such acts, that when you come out publicly and say, no, we cannot, we will not stand this kind of criticism, this kind of questions you're raising, wouldn't that be seen as saying that, yes, leave us to do whatever we can behind these offences? Chris?
Well, Bonafide, we were not defending ourselves. I can just imagine people storm this station, citizen. We used to just sit down and say, okay, because we have been accused, let us sit down and wait for the outsiders. And you know, we are living in a, we have security threats everywhere. We don't know who these people are. We have patients there. We have very expensive machineries. You can't just sit down and say, let them come. You have to defend your territory. You have to defend your name.
Koram, I'm sure you agree with that.
And
100%.
Just a minute. What I'm saying, we are not defending us. We are just giving facts as they are. Facts as they are. Because
have you, for example,
I can just imagine.
Have you been interrogated? Have you been part of the investigations? Because I'm sure police have come into KNH and they're conducting their own investigations. Have you
personally, I've not been interrogated by any security organ. Yeah, and I can tell you for free and for sure, in our unit, no staff member has been interrogated.
So even as police say that they're carrying out investigations within Kenyatta National Hospital, you as a worker there, a mortician working at the Kenyatta National Hospital mortuary, you say that none of your colleagues has been interrogated by police.
I can tell you for free.
Okay.
None. Yeah. But our internal investigative organs have interrogated our staff. But the police, I can tell you, no one.
Okay. Back to my question. Don't you think that as a union that your actions yesterday could be misperceived to mean that you're condoning such acts against defenseless women within the hospital?
No, you see, the work of the union is to protect the rights of workers. And these are our workers. Apart from being one of them, and there were people who were paid, we were informed previously that there are people who are going to be paid the previous day to come and invade our territory for reasons not known to us, because we have given them enough time, and nobody has come out, and I'm repeating, nobody has come out to say so and so had raped me, even in which year. I've told you I've started working in Kenyatta in 1983. I'm retiring soon.
And you've never come across any allegation of rape within the hospital?
I just work next to where the children are, those small children are being breastfed. And there we have two security which is manning both Ward 1D and where the children are, and there are another security at the lift, and when you are entering there are another security stationed at the entrance from theater towards the lift. So when anything happens here, it cannot even take a minute before it is detected. So that is why I have to mobilize these people and protect the integrity of the hospital.
Finally, because yes, you represent quite a lot of workers. Kenyatta National Hospital has hundreds, if not thousands, of staff members represented under KUDEHA. If at all, and there could be criminal elements within your members of staff as well, if at all it is actually found that yes, someone was behind these acts, they attacked defenseless women, and they are taken to court, will you still defend them as a union?
I think that confirms what we did yesterday. That our institution does not condone any kind of criminal activity, because rape is a criminal activity. And we are saying our terms and the conditions of service are very clear in the institutions. They are well spelled to all our members of staff. Similarly, our constitution is very clear that you must work within the limits as prescribed by the law. We can assure you that the reason why we paraded some of our mortuary attendants yesterday is because we wanted the public at least to even identify one whom we are not even ready to defend at any given time. So we are telling members of the public that let us not speculate with the issue, let us face the issue the way it is, and let us at least allow people who are so-called victims to record statements with the criminal investigations, and they come out very clearly. Let us not hide behind the scenes. And at least we are telling the media, at least you have done your investigation. At least you have investigated people and you have even interrogated them behind the scenes. If those people can be brought, especially live, on this kind of session, we will appreciate and say this is the way we need to operate. Okay. Otherwise, we are telling Kenyans, at least we gave you a break when the 5.5 months strike by the nurses countrywide was ongoing. At least KNH, we never strikes. So if this is the price that is you are telling us that we are now being leveled as rubbish, it is very unfortunate.
Pius M. Chiboy, KNH Union staff member, actually the chairperson of the KNH Union staff union rather, which is represented under KUDEHA, which is the Kenya Union of Domestic Hotels, Educational Institutions, Hospitals and Allied Workers. Chris Musanga Wambua, a mortician, you and your colleagues have been directly, these allegations are directly leveled against you. And then Jared Okuro Konam, KUDEHA branch chairman, Nairobi. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for actually helping us with this discussion, which continues, and it has been covered on the dailies as well. Page 4 of the Standard, Mailu Defense KNH staff against rape allegations. CS says no one had complained that they had been raped at the referral hospital. On page 2 of the Daily Nation, morgue workers to call strike until abuse victims report to the police. Now, this is something new. You have to say, are you going on strike, Chris?
No. You know, there are two things. Yesterday you were not striking, you were picketing, which is allowed another hour.
So this headline is a bit misleading.
Yeah.
You've not threatened to go on strike.
That's how you do your work.
Yeah.
You wanted to tell your story. Before we come and the media. Let's go on to